I turned this one just in case I did something like that tonight, and sanded it. Realize you can't go back. You cut it, you make it. Oh, how do you tell what your wall thickness is? Line of detail. Somewhere. Ah, there we go. Wall thickness. Put that in there and bring it down to size, and you can measure your wall thickness all the way down to the bottom. In this case, it's tapering up to about an 1/8 inch. So out here I'm about a 1/16. Down here it's about an 1/8, and it stays that way. I was in a hurry. I'm sorry. But easiest way to follow wall thickness, don't trust fingers. I've been doing this a long time, and I've got some shorter fingers than I used to, and it still won't measure right. So get a pair of calipers and go to town. Okay. So now you've managed to make this beautiful little cup out here, and it looks great, and it's all sanded and polished. Depending on the type of finish, you may even put a finish on it right now. I usually don't. I finish them afterwards. Well, that's a lie. Sometimes I finish them this way and sometimes the other way. So there's lots of pieces for tops here, Peter. Come up and clean up afterwards. Okay. So you say, how are we going to make this long, thin stem?
How are you going to make that long, thin stem?
Well, I thought you'd never ask. The easiest way is you saw it off. You call up Peter and have him bring his pencil sharpener over. Nice thing about this stuff is it crunches up real good.
Yeah.
I love the sound effects. Okay. What is that? All kinds of visuals. Always, what do you do with the leftovers? You know?
Your nose.
That's true. I need this. Save it for later. Okay. So that's how you hold the back end. You can put an amazing amount of pressure back here at this stage because you got a lot of meat right here, and because you're pushing against the end right. So you put that in there, and you screw it down tight, and you take the loose end and you tuck it in, and you get this all neat and tidy, and you make it pretty, and you waste a lot of time and crack a few jokes. Okay. And everybody tighten these all the time?
Yeah.
I never do.
Really?
I never tighten that thing. I don't know why. If I'm way out here where this has some play, then I tighten it. But frankly, I've never seen this thing move. I've never seen this thing move.
My one way will back off.
Will
The
it?
handle's heavy enough that it backs it off.
Well, it should only back off to there.
Yeah. That can be enough.
That can be enough. Plan properly, move this. But no, I find I virtually never tighten this thing. Okay, so now you know how the mystery is solved to support that end. And there you have it. Now, what's the favorite tool for getting things round? Is something that will hog off the wood here. We need a little detail or two, so I can't, well, it is about a round, isn't it? Let's give it a little bit of a fold underneath. The other nice thing about cherry is you can actually just sort of chip it off. Okay. So we got a little bit of a detail there. And I don't know, that's probably chipped, huh? It's spoiled. I'm used to having a dynamic braking. Yeah, it's not bad. It's got a little chip in it. But hey, this is a demonstration. This is not going to a gallery, folks. Okay? This is just a little demonstration here. So we'll clean that up a little bit. We don't have all night. You can sand it all up and everything else. Now the way that Stuart and Alan Batty make their stems is they use a fingernail gouge, and they take this on down, and then they come back here with the side of it and bring it back down. Again, they're cutting against the end, so they're pushing against the bearings. So, boy, I almost blew that one. And that's how they do it.
Can you repeat that, please?
Sorry?
Repeat it.
They want us to repeat that.
Oh, okay. The way I was taught to do this, and at the time I think they were the only ones doing this, was using the side of the tool and pulling this back. It's acting very much like a skew. You can also use a skew. But how many of you use your skews?
Besides Peter.
Besides Peter. Peter, you use a skew. Good for you. But you're English, so, you know.
Are you scraping?
So, yeah, this sort of cut, you're pushing in the direction of the fibers. And if I get the angle right, you can see I'm cutting. I'm not just scraping. And we're cutting little shavings off here.
So the flute's almost.
Well, depending on where you are on this, you have to turn it to the right spot. But that's their technique for basically it's a substitute for a skew. Now, Alan could do this with a skew. I'm sure Stuart could as well. But this part of it, a skew doesn't do as fast.
Right.
So one tool, hog it off here, phony skew here. That worked great, and that's how I learned to do it. And then I said, that's too slow. So I went and started doing it a little differently. Full gouge with a traditional square end cut, basically a mini roughing gouge. What's the most efficient tool for getting wood off a spindle? Works like a charm. Now I can get down in here. I can take this down pretty small. I can use the middle part just like a regular gouge. I can use this corner over here. I can use the side just like a skew. I can go either direction. And I can make myself pretty thin. At this point, I want to not have, I had a lot of pressure on there, but this is pretty quick.
Tom, is this the way you normally do it? You do the end and then the next and then move along like that?
The way you have to do it. The only way you can do this is from one end to the other.
Okay.
Once you get down thin, you have no strength whatsoever. So if you get this thin, you can't go back. Actually, that's a lie. I have gotten away with it, but
So you want to leave the end near the chuck as big as possible.
you
Don't touch
want
it
some
at all.
beef back here.
Right.
You want to work in it roughly an inch or so at a time. Take it down, thin it out, get it down to where you want it, and just work it on down.